Where would you put that in terms of the most complete team efforts that you have seen from your team in the last year or two?
Well, you know what, we've made some progress. I do think the part that's been evident, we got a group they're scrappy and they are mentally tough. I think just playing a little bit better. Just being a little more disciplined. And it's not that we do dumb stuff. It's just we don't do, today I thought we did the football stuff. We kept our focus on the football stuff, and because of it, it helped.
And you talk about mental toughness. For DJ, he took a couple of shots. For him to come back as quickly as he did and then play as well as he did, talk a little bit about that.
Well, you look at it, really, it's the first time that he's played extensively, and he'll learn from it. That's what we got to do as we move forward. We got to keep growing as a team. I'll say this. I think big time we had some guys answer the call this week. And, Kyle Johnson had been out for a few weeks. First day he practiced in a while was on Wednesday, and he looked like Hogan's goat. Just rusty as can be on Wednesday, but was so determined. Was a little sharper on Thursday. You go through a good number of those guys. Marcus Bennett answered the call. Ronald Cleveland. We had to make some changes at Bandit, or at the boundary outside linebacker, and then obviously our coaches did a terrific job too. You just look at the job that that Mike and just on offense what they did, being able to grind out some first downs and hold on to the ball, and then John and Vandy and Tim Cross and just the whole defensive staff, and then we were solid in special teams too.
Yeah, in that front for you guys was so disruptive. Jackson, especially today, just really made it difficult at the point of attack.
He did. Again, it goes back to just being a hair sharper. And when you're a little more disciplined, some more opportunities to make plays come about. If you're disciplined with your strike zone, then you get a chance to hit a few more better pitches too.
And Grant Donaldson had some plays there for a while early to kind of help you establish what you were doing. How big was his play? And was this his first extended time?
Yeah, it sure was. And again, there's somebody you talk about being able just to answer the call as a team. And he's going to be a really solid player for us.
It was special for him coming from Maryland.
Yeah, he only lives about 15 minutes literally from the town of from Annapolis. He grew over that far east of where he went to high school. And
what does it do to your offense when DJ's playing the way he did today? He had one throw off his back foot that he kind of threaded a needle to Sanders. When a team has to defend everything against you, how much better are you?
Well, I think the key for any player, is just being able to take a game experience and move forward. If you're a quarterback, I don't care what position you are. Every day you wake up, I don't care how long you've been coaching. To have the discipline, to be a grinder, to work, and just be dedicated to improving. That's the part as you move forward that I think at every single position that's got to occur. And same thing with coaches. It's the same way as coaches. Nothing gets you beat faster than arrogance in the long haul.
What did he show you during the week to get the call?
He was pretty sudden, pretty decisive, had a good feel for what we did, and probably most of all was just how strong he was fundamentally with the football. Because I think, you look over the years at these games, you compare turnovers in this game compared to the one 12 months ago. That's pretty important, especially, you look at some of that early field position. I think 2 of the first 3 drives, started back there inside the, pen. And you just got to hopefully hold on to the ball and then get a first down, which we didn't do. We're going to be a little better at situational football, and but at least hold on to it.
Did you sense your team needed a win like this and a celebration?
No, sir. We're not. We're just not a momentum team. But anybody, I'll say this, anybody that ever wants to run with roller coasters, they're allowed to. That's one of the neat things in the country in which we live. We don't have to take it personal. If somebody does, they're allowed to. If they, how many do everything, they're allowed to.
Coach, looking at the run defense, that's got to rank up there. How impressed were you with the way they handled that?
We've been, you look at the interior, we've been fairly solid so far this year. We were not on the perimeter. In our second ball game down in Florida, there were a couple of wide sweeps there where we gave up some yards, and then, there in the fourth quarter on a play that went, to the right in the fourth quarter at Utah State, we weren't. But we're gonna grow up. That's part of it. You play football and you learn, you grow, and I think that the dumbest thing we can do is think that all of a sudden, well, everything's peachy, because it's not. It's not for us as coaches. It's not for us as administrators. I mean, we just got to keep grinding away and keep improving, and certainly, ultimately, the cadets, the players, to have that kind of persistence. That's what we have to do moving forward.
You mentioned it a little bit earlier, but how imperative was it to have your front line get pressure on their two quarterbacks whenever they were in?
It was, Grant. I think, we've been, like I said, I mean, we've been stout up front with our D-line. And, I think the part where we really, you noticed, made some strides was in our offensive line today, too. But we got to play well up front. We do. And you know what? In 6 days, we got a little shorter week. We're going to have to play well up front. And probably the last thing that comes to mind is last night we were driving. We were coming after we had our team meeting last night, and you get back on I-25 at just after 9 o'clock. And there's this car that's scooting in a hurry, and it says on the side, it says KOAA on it. And it was scooting in a hurry, and I thought, God, if we can play as fast and with that kind of purpose, that KOA, I have to tell you, so I went even faster. Now, I don't know if I'm confessing this. I went even faster and looked up just to make sure it wasn't the guy that does all the football, and it wasn't. So you're off the hook.
DJ, when did you find out that you were going to be starting today?
This morning.
Yeah. And how would you grade your performance today?
That's all that matters.
And talk about your ability with Joseph coming on, and then obviously with Cade. Seems like the three of you, as that game progressed, were able to make it really difficult on Navy to focus in on one of you guys.
We just play how we practice. Practice offense. He's been practicing for 3 years. I've been practicing for 2 years. We just play how we practice.
And Jordan, on the defensive side of things, how important was it for you guys, you and the rest of the front there, to be able to penetrate so well off the snap and really make it difficult for Navy to get their running attack going?
I think it was a big, helped us a lot, seeing how Malcolm Perry, great quarterback, they have a great offense over there. So being able to get pressure, being able to push offensive line back a little bit just makes it a little bit easier to play.
And how much did you prepare for each of their quarterbacks? Because we didn't see him at all. I don't know if maybe he snuck in a play or two. I didn't really see him. It was just the two of them. So how much had you guys prepared all week for those two guys?
I don't think we didn't really prepare for like a specific player. We just prepared for the team and then come out and play how we played.
And this for any of the three of you. 3 losses by a total of 19 points to come out and win not just this game, but the way you won this game in all 3 phases. How good did that feel for you guys?
So great. We had to make statements saying that we're still here. We're just going nowhere.
So, Joseph, we talked about your background and what you had to persevere to get here. When you scored that long touchdown, what went through your mind? Did any of that pop in, like the fact that you were still here?
What do you mean by that?
Well, we talked about in August, the fact that you had to stay. You had some academic issues and you toughed it out because it was a long-term decision. When you made that big play, the first one of your career to really kind of make that stamp, what went through your mind?
Not much. It was just like practice, just getting in the end zone. I was very excited. Obviously, it's my first touchdown doing the football program, but I was super tired. So I didn't have time to really think. I was just getting back at the sideline.
How good did it feel to show what you can do on the field?
Felt pretty good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Because you guys have so many tailbacks, and the opportunities don't come around. If you don't seize it right away, somebody else is going to come in. Does that factor into the satisfaction of making a big play?
Yeah, like we're all all the tailbacks are really close, and we all like work together and like competing together. So like we know like when we're feeling it, if you understand what that means. But like, yeah, like we just compete together, and we're like happy to see each other like be successful. So.
This isn't how Navy usually looks. I mean, you guys totally took them out of their game. How kind of satisfaction do you draw from that?
Oh man. I think beating Navy is one good thing, but destroying Navy is another good thing. And I think it's going to be great carrying us on. But you know, that game's over, and we got to use this energy and all this, everything that we got, moving forward, and just ride the wave.
And did you, I mean, I've seen how you've performed against the run this year. Did you guys kind of know coming in that this could be the result based on how you guys have stuffed the run?
I mean, I feel like we played the run amazing all year, except for a couple big plays. And I was just telling guys before the snap and everything, like, they can't run the ball on us. Like, they're not going to run the ball on us. Like, no cheap plays. Don't let them throw over the top. Don't let them do any trick plays, anything, because they're not going to run the ball on us. And I think that's our mentality, is just, you know, Coach Russ used to say, stone the run. And I think that we really internalized it this year. I know he's not here, but we have internalized stoning the run, and that takes away aspect of the offense.
Anything, Dad?
I think you covered it all.
Donald, you took a pretty good shot there early on in the game. When did you feel like you would be able to come back?
When I got up. When I was on the ground, it hurt. That's why I was like down there for so long. But when I got up, I felt fine. But I had to go through the concussion protocol.
So when you came back, it was like you'd never left, or what was the feeling like?
It was like you had to go win a game. We were down when I came back, so that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Hey, Donald, when you guys started throwing the ball a little bit, did you feel like you loosened them up and it kind of opened up everything, the passing?
Oh, for sure. Most teams, the defense has played us like we're a one-dimensional team. They put 8 or 9 people in the box, so if we start throwing the ball, completing some, it opens everything up.
And I know it's not your bread and butter, but would you like to throw a little bit more? I mean, just to loosen defenses up and maybe not be, for lack of better words, as predictable as.
It depends on the game plan week to week. If the defense, the safeties are playing back, we're gonna run the ball until they come up and then we're gonna throw the ball when they do. So.
And do you feel that same way? Like it opened things up for you in the running game when you guys started loosening them up a little bit?
Yes, sir, I do. Well, yeah, he said it all, basically.
Yeah. If you guys, whoever wants to answer this, I mean, one of the big games here is obviously Navy and Army, but it's been a while since you've beaten Navy. Can you tell me what the mood was like in the locker room? Maybe some of the older guys, maybe some of the things they've said there. Anybody?
I mean, you saw it on the field when we went back to the other cadets and we're celebrating, we were happy, and then when we got into the locker room, some recruits were coming in and we're just loud. Some of the things that we say, like inside jokes that we have on the team, we're just screaming that, like having a good time. We're happy, like, and we're ready to look forward to the future. Like, that's why. That's what I feel like the locker room environment was. Just excited, ready, and like we proved to not only everyone else but ourselves that we're still here.
I just got one more. I'm sorry I don't have the mic. But Donald, from a repetition standpoint, you guys were in a good rhythm there in the second half. I know you don't want to be disrespectful, but how nice was it getting a few more series and a few more times into the end zone where the game could have been 21-7 or 28-7?
Can you repeat that?
Just getting, you guys were in a rhythm, right? But you had a comfortable lead.
Right.
Not that you were trying to embarrass Navy, but you were getting the reps and you were really moving the offense. How much is that going to help you guys going forward?
Pretty much. It's going to help us a lot. But our goal was to embarrass Navy. That was our goal coming in. They embarrassed us last year. We lost. That's embarrassing. When we lose them, that's embarrassing. But it's definitely going to help us going forward, especially when you keep the defense off the field. It helps them as well. So.